another special episode of my Guitar-Nerdery series. This was just mainly an improvisation, a demonstration, how I would approach to play over an art backing track. Recently I provided on my YouTube channel 2 backing tracks in art meters, one in 5/8 and the other one in 7/8 time signature. And this was my approach how I would play over that 5/8 backing track. I hope you liked what I did there, and the main purpose of my demonstration was to get you inspired. For those of you who are new to art meters and until now didn't dare to dive into this, it's such fun. So I hope I got you inspired to do this. And also for those of you who are really new to art time signatures, how do you approach them? Like this 5/8 backing track. You can count, of course, till 5. That would work because a 5/8 time signature is not much to count. It would be more difficult when it's 11/8. But mainly, regularly, art time signatures are subdivided. And it comes really handy to subdivide the groove of this backing track into 2 and 3. 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3. This way you get accents into one bar that give you a main information, a connection to the groove, because that's the groove how it's composed in this backing track. In another backing track it could of course be 3 and 2. And what I missed to tell in my former demonstration over a 7/8 backing track of mine, that I even subdivide these 8th notes counting into 16th notes, because we're dealing here with a 16th groove, and 16th is what I want to feel when I play to a 16th groove. And this 2 and 3 counting here in that 5/8 time signature, I subdivide this into 4 and 2 times 3. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4. Gives me even more information. You do not have to do this, but I really like to do this. I have absolutely no idea how it would work out if we were confronted much more with art time signatures like 5/8. Most of the times we are confronted with a simple 4/4 and nothing wrong about it. It's absolutely marvelous. But that's what we really got into our system, what we really learned to feel. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. And on 5/8, 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3. There comes an issue. If you only listen to this, you can find this interesting and somehow get access to it. But if you want to improvise to this, everything I have learned on my guitar took place mainly in the context of a 4/4 beat. And when I play now to a 5/8 beat, I have to adapt everything to that new time signature, because nothing, really nothing what I've learned fits into that time signature. Therefore, it's absolutely necessary when you want to improvise to really get the groove into your body. Counting is easy. It's really easy to understand, but to feel it is a different thing. And therefore, you can't avoid to do a lot of repetition to really get it in your system, to really understand it, until you do not count anymore, but feel like you do in a 4/4. Only then you're really able to start improvising and playing with the beat. Otherwise, you start mathematically to construct things, so you do not confuse yourself. And that's a really hard thing to do. I did this a lot, but every time, also in that case of this backing track, believe me, this was not a first take. It took me really quite some time to get used to the groove, to really feel it. So time is what you need and what you have to make room for. But believe me, it's really worth the effort. And I guess what first happens when you start improvising over this backing track, you start to emphasize the one of the beat, just to get yourself the information where the one is. Because to know where the one of the beat is in all time signatures is the most important thing. If you lose the one, you're out. And it takes quite some time if you're really familiar with the groove, so that you can play over the one. You can expand an idea and start playing with the groove. And then it comes to the taste. How much are you doing this? Because our time signatures for the listener are also challenging. And if you always emphasize the one, it sounds somewhat silly. But if you really familiar with it and you go across the bar lines all the time, the listener doesn't know anymore where the one is. So it's always a question of balance. How far do you go? But it's really up to you. You can do what you want, really. Now let's talk about the harmonic of that backing track. The backing track is in E-Dorian mode. For those of you who are not familiar with the Dorian mode, what is it? It's a minor mode. So, but most of the times when people hear, oh, this track is in minor, they think about the Aeolian scale, the natural minor scale in classic music theory. The Dorian minor is the second mode, the second church mode of the D-Ionian scale, the D-Ionian system. So, over this track, you can play D-Ionian, D major, the D major scale. If you do not know how to play the D major scale, then the easiest way to play over this backing track would be to use the E minor pentatonic. It really sounds great, and there's an issue with the E minor pentatonic in a good way and in a bad way. The good way is it's a pentatonic, it consisting out of 5 notes, so 2 notes compared to the E-Dorian scale are missing. In the case of E-Dorian, you're missing the F sharp, the major second, and the most important note, the C sharp, the major 6. So you do not have those 2 notes in that E minor pentatonic, so you do not have that information of those 2 notes, but you also do not have 2 notes in the scale that could be possibly wrong. That's a great idea, eh? What you're missing then, the bad thing about this is, the reason why it's E-Dorian, it's because Dorian has a special sound, has a special character that sounds different from the Aeolian mode, the natural minor scale. And that's the major 6, in that case, the note C sharp. If you do not play that note at all, you're not doing something wrong, but you do not really play Dorian. You do not really emphasize the sound. It's always a trade-off. But because the main purpose of this 5/8 backing track and also that other 7/8 backing track is to get you started to play over odd meters. So it doesn't matter if you really play Dorian or not. I hope I got you inspired to start diving into odd time signatures. It's really fun. If you not already have, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It would really help me. You can also watch my videos, that helps also. And I'm very looking forward to see you next time.